In 2025, a group of scientists were watching their underwater cameras off the coast of the Gulf of California. What they captured has never been documented before in human history. A pod of orcas worked together to immobilize a living great white shark. Then, one by one, they took turns eating only its liver. The shark was still alive. This wasn't random. This wasn't luck. This was a coordinated surgical operation carried out by animals that scientists are only now beginning to truly understand. And if that doesn't already terrify you, wait until you hear what they did next. To understand what happened in that Gulf of California, you first need to understand what an orca actually is, because most people have it completely wrong. An orca is not a whale. It is a dolphin, the largest member of the dolphin family. And dolphins are not just cute, intelligent animals. They are strategic, cultural, and as we are only beginning to discover, capable of behaviors that challenge everything we thought we knew about animal intelligence. Orcas live in tight family groups called pods, led by the oldest female, the grandmother. She remembers where food was found 50 years ago. She teaches her children teach their children. When she dies, her pod's survival rate drops dramatically. She is not just a family member. She is a living library. Their brain has a region that humans don't even have, a paralimbic lobe, associated with emotional processing. They grieve their dead. They play. They have dialects. Different pods speak different languages. No two orca populations sound the same. And now, they have been documented performing coordinated surgical hunts on the most feared predator in the ocean. Now, let's go back to what scientists witnessed in the Gulf of California in 2025. A pod of orcas located a young great white shark, approximately 3 to 4 meters long. What followed was not a chaotic attack. It was structured. It was deliberate. And it revealed a level of biological knowledge that left researchers stunned. First, the orcas surrounded the shark and began herding it, pushing it, controlling its movement, preventing escape. Not attacking, just controlling. Then, one orca moved beneath the shark and drove it upward, to the surface. As the shark broke the surface, it entered tonic immobility, a state in which sharks become completely paralyzed when inverted, unable to move, unable to breathe. The orca held it there, perfectly still. Then, with surgical precision, the orcas opened only the abdominal cavity and extracted the liver. The liver of a great white shark can weigh up to 100 kilograms. It is packed with squalene, one of the most energy-dense oils in nature. The orca left the rest of the shark. They wanted only the most nutritious organ. This behavior had been theorized. It had been suspected. But in 2025, it was filmed for the first time in the Gulf of California by scientists who still cannot fully explain how orcas learned to locate a shark's liver with such precision. The answer, they believe, was passed down from mother to child for generations. A hunting technique refined over decades and taught like a family tradition. But the Gulf of California incident is not the only reason orcas have taken over the internet in the last 2 years. Off the coast of Portugal and Spain, for the past 5 years, orcas have been deliberately ramming into sailing boats. In 2025 alone, footage showed an orca pod off Portugal attacking a sailing vessel so aggressively that it eventually sank. Sailors were terrified. Coast guards were called. The story went viral worldwide. Scientists scrambled to explain it. Were they angry? Were they defending territory? Were they retaliating against humans for decades of damage to their food supply? The current leading theory? Play. These orcas, particularly a young female nicknamed White Gladys, appear to have started this behavior after a traumatic interaction with a boat, and other orcas learned it from her. Within months, it spread across the entire population, like a viral trend. Started by one individual, copied by hundreds. Think about that. Orcas went viral by going viral. And if you thought that was extraordinary, scientists released another study in late 2025 that received almost no mainstream attention. Using drones and underwater cameras physically attached to orcas, researchers documented something entirely new. At least 25 separate instances of orcas teaming up with white-sided dolphins to hunt salmon. Not hunting dolphins, not competing with dolphins, hunting with them, as partners, as allies. Two completely different species coordinating a hunt together. The dolphins herded the fish. The orcas blocked escape routes. Both groups fed on the result. No one taught them this cross-species collaboration. No researcher designed this strategy. It emerged spontaneously between two wild species that decided cooperation was better than competition. Scientists are calling this one of the most complex interspecies behaviors ever documented in the wild. And we almost missed it because we weren't looking closely enough. So what does all of this tell us? 3 separate behaviors: liver extraction, boat interaction, cross-species hunting, all documented in the last 2 years, all pointing to the same conclusion. Orcas are not just intelligent, they are culturally intelligent, meaning their intelligence doesn't just live in individual brains, it lives in the group, in the tradition, in what gets passed down from grandmother to grandchild. When scientists talk about cultural learning in animals, they usually mention chimpanzees, occasionally elephants, rarely ocean animals, because the ocean is hard to study, hard to observe. Most of what happens beneath the surface, we have never seen. But now, with drones, with underwater cameras, with DNA tracking, the curtain is being pulled back. And what we're finding is humbling. The ocean's most powerful predator does not rely on size alone, or speed alone, or teeth alone. It relies on knowledge, on memory, on teaching, on cooperation, not just within its own species, but across species lines. In other words, the most advanced survival strategy in the ocean looks a lot less like brute force and a lot more like civilization.
And yet, despite all of this, orca populations are under serious pressure. In the Pacific Northwest, the southern resident orca population has just 73 individuals left. They are critically endangered. Their primary food source, Chinook salmon, has been decimated by dams, pollution, and overfishing. These are the same animals that have demonstrated cultural knowledge passed down across generations, techniques refined over centuries. And we are watching that knowledge disappear, family by family, as starvation reduces their numbers. When an elder female dies, she takes decades of knowledge with her. Knowledge of where food was found in difficult years. Knowledge that cannot be recovered. We have spent decades being afraid of orcas, calling them killer whales, keeping them in tanks, studying their aggression. And in that time, we missed the most important thing. We were not the most intelligent species in the ocean. We were just the one with the most boats. The orca story is not finished. Every year, new cameras capture new behaviors. New studies reveal new layers. And every time, we are more surprised than we expected to be. If this changed how you see the ocean, subscribe. Because next week, I'm covering the animal that has survived every single mass extinction in Earth's history. 5 of them, including the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. It was here 500 million years ago, and it's still here today. I'll see you in that video.